All right. Good afternoon. Super Kicking with Stephen fans, your favorite host right here. We got the Greg one over there. We got Stephen A 1181 right here. Another week, another
Oh,
releases.
nice. Look
But
at that merch.
yeah, I know, like this. Oh, this is nice, right? This is
Love
old.
that.
This is old
Yes,
school,
sir.
2017. Yeah,
Wow.
I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah, but it's a cool. I like this. It's nice and comfy. So yeah. Another week of releases, but first, let's get some good news happening. So I saw Randy Orton tweet out, Greg, thanks to fans, he will surpass Kane tomorrow for most pay-per-view matches with
Wow.
177. So I saw that, and then on Raw, if he wrestles on Raw, he'll have the most Raw matches of any superstar. So I just want to throw that out there real quick, and I think where do you put Randy Orton, Greg, in your echelon, your tiers? I I kind of think he's going to get all of his love after he's gone. Like not dead.
Mhm.
Hopefully he'll get the love before
Yeah.
then, but like I think he'll get all the love. I will say as well, I think the past few years people have really turned to his side. There was that I think 2010ish, 2011. I feel like the tide kind of turned in his favor for him.
Mhm.
Early on, I think there wasn't a lot of love for him. Especially when he, the kind of the army stuff that he went AWOL and just you seemed like he was full of himself way too much. Kept getting knocked down and kept coming back thanks to other things. But it seems like finally the crowd has got not the crowd, but fans have got behind him. Either way, they love him as a heel. They love him as a face. I think they see the work he does. It's not the prettiest, but it's like the creative wrestler thing, Greg, where it feels like he's got all those tools right
Yep.
there. And so for me, I think he's not top. He's not the Stone Cold Hogan, Cena, Taker, Bruno. That, but I mean, maybe the edge level, that second tier guys. I mean,
Mhm.
Kurt Angle. I don't know. That just hard workers. But I do think when he retires, everyone will come out saying they loved him from the start, even though they really didn't. You'll get the love
Right.
fest for him. So, what about yourself,
Mhm.
Greg? What about thoughts on Orton? Obviously, it's and it seems like he's not ready to wrap it up yet. I still think he's got a good 5-10 years in him. It seems like barring any injury. So, how about your own thoughts on Orton surpassing some milestones here in the next couple of days?
Yeah, that's awesome. Props to him. And it just speaks to his longevity, how long he's been able to do this at such a high level. Um, the man's a phenomenon, and it has the background, being second generation, or actually third generation, I think, with
Third
him,
generation. Yep.
third generation. And, it's in his blood. He's known how to do this from a super young age. And the fact he's still around performing at the level that he's on right now, it's just a testament to his hard work, um, his being like a student of the game. I guess when you have, father and grandfather who came up in it, it's impossible for you not to be. But a lot of people have that talent, that bloodline, and still don't succeed on the level that he does. So I put him right below that level of, Stone Cold and The Rock as far as mainstream popularity. But even he's crossed those lines sometimes too. I mean, how many RKO
A
gifts have
Marine.
you seen?
The
Uh, the, the
Marine.
the RKO gifts were hot for
Yeah.
a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The Marine movies, yeah. Um, he's got a face that's ready for Hollywood when he decides to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
And his character work has been super strong. I remember the early days of uh, him coming out, babyface. Remember the Get Well Randy
Mm-hmm.
campaign after he broke his arm and he came out in the sling every week and put up the address for Get Well Randy cards and that whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. But he's had great programs after great programs, and it's been a benefit to him to come up in the era that he came up in, the
Yeah.
Attitude Era, and so that's definitely helped his profile being in the ring with Austin and Rock and Triple H in their prime and HBK in his prime,
Mhm.
Undertaker in his prime, and that really catapulted him to the top. Um, but now that he's there, he's done a great job staying there. And when he's invested in a storyline, there's nobody better. When
Mhm.
Edge came back and he got in that program with Edge, and they had that series of brutal matches, and those promos, those matches, everything was top notch. And when he's got a storyline that he can sink his teeth into, nobody better.
Yeah.
Even right now, what he's doing, RK Bro, he really doesn't thrive in tag teams. Even in Evolution, he wasn't a standout piece, but now
Mhm.
he is in a tag team, which is out of his realm usually.
Mhm.
And so everything he does when he really gets behind it, he's as good as anybody who's ever done it. So I love the guy, and like you said, once he retires, all the love for him is going to come out. But we should do our best to appreciate him now while he's still in the ring because he's still one of the best. If we had to put a top 10 together across all brands, Randy Orton is,
Mhm.
you know, easily in the top 10, if not top five.
Yeah. And just think still that OVW class, Batista, Orton, Cena, and Lesnar. I mean, we talk about AEW and their
Mhm.
four pillars. Like, I mean, I don't think you'll ever see another foursome come up like that, in
Yeah,
WWE. Like, I mean, that it just all worked out for all four of those. And I mean, it's probably funny because it's like hard, obviously Cena and Lesnar are probably a step ahead. But like you said, with Batista's work that he did and Orton, I mean, are they as far behind as we think? If especially if you consider longevity of Orton, I mean, that's got to play a part too, and to be on the top for most of that time. So, but Greg, we got to get into it. Unfortunately, or
yep.
fortunately for one superstar, because I've not seen any hate for this guy leaving. But anyways, uh, this is the latest round. So it's John Morrison, Top Dollar, Ashante Adonis, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Tegan Knox, Drake Maverick, Shane Thorne, and Jackson Riker, which nobody cares.
Right.
I've not seen anyone say that they are mad that he lost his job, but I am a little upset with Taya. I know you love her, Greg, and I get she's
Yep.
upset and tweeting out. Part of me is like, okay, I get it. You lost your income, but I don't think you're going to be going the unemployment line anytime soon. And that kind of bugs me. It rubs me the wrong way when she's like, because there's real people out there. Like if me or you lose our job, Greg, we're going to be hurting. Like I got to
Yeah.
file for unemployment. I'm going to have to, I might be hurt for like I don't think John Morrison and Taya are going to be like, counting change trying to get gas in their car. No offense. Like I get you lost your income, but you also probably have some money to fall back on. You're not get online to look for jobs. But, anyways, I just kind of, and I get it. She's upset that they both lost their jobs, which when I saw Morrison's name, Greg, I mean, I hate to say it wasn't that surprising. Like the first name that
Hmm.
we've kind of talked that up. Now, of course, hit row, hit row, hit row, hit row. Like when BFAB was gone, I was like,
Mm.
okay. And then they still did stuff. So and people are like, well, they just got called up just so they could do 90 days instead of 30. Part of me doesn't believe that. I think maybe they thought they were going to go somewhere. And then, whatever reason, Nick Khan, whoever seems to be in charge of these cuts, was like, nope, we're done. Like, and it's just weird that they're the ones because then you look at Tegan Knox. I think she'll be fine. She could go back to her original character, which is Nixon Newell. Drake Maverick, I think, will do stuff with EC3 and Braun, and they'll do whatever they're going to do. Um, who else was on there? Shane Thorne. I mean, that now he'll probably be hurting because who knows if he has work visas, kind of like the Jonah, Bronson Reed character. Like that might be tough. And then Jackson Riker, which whatever. But Greg, I think we
Yeah.
both agree. Hit Row that's the shocking one this time, personally. Like I said, John Morrison, I guess you could be shocked by, but at the same time, are you? I mean, his wife just lost her job. I kind of feel, they cut Karrion Kross Scarlett together. They cut Keith Lee and Mia Yim. So, I mean, at least they're being they're putting them to, they're not like, I guess it'd be better if you cut one or the other, but at the same time, they probably want to do stuff together as well. So I hate saying I'm not upset for John Morrison. I know it sounds like I'm not, Greg, and I mean, I'm not, but Hit Row are the guys that I'm like, okay, what did we do there? Like what's going on there? Because that was tailor-made for a group to go against the Bloodline, against New Day. I mean, you had everything right there for you. So have at it, Greg. Give your own thoughts on the latest round of releases.
Yeah, shaking my head, definitely at the Hit Row releasing. BFAB, I could give a pass to because after watching her two matches in NXT, it was obvious she was not ready. Um, I thought she would have been great just being in the background, the eye candy behind the three, the three stars.
Legit. Yeah.
Yeah, they're legit wrestlers, and she could be in the background and, just add to the window dressing.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand BFAB getting released because as a wrestler, she wasn't ready, and if they probably want more than somebody who just stands around the ring. But releasing the whole squad, that's ridiculous. I mean, they were getting a big following down at NXT. They were one of the hottest acts of the night anytime they were on. Um, I think WWE dropped the ball going back to when they were doing the whole thing with the two shows in one night because they were broadcasting from the Rolling Loud Festival,
Yeah.
and they sent Carmella versus Bianca
Mm-hmm.
in front of the Rolling Loud audience, as well as match with the Street Profits. And you should have sent Hit Row out there. I mean, take that Cypher performance they did on the NXT TV, put that in front of the Rolling Loud audience. Now you've converted a ton of new fans because
Yeah.
the people at the Rolling Loud would have known what a Cypher was and they would have been into it and it would have got them over huge. I think they dropped the ball there. But, you ask Vince McMahon what a Cypher is, I'm sure he will not be able to answer that for you. It's just misunderstanding what you have in the talents that are before you. I am ashamed of the whole creative team as a whole. I mean, how do you not understand this? Um, I can imagine the writers' room is probably 40 plus white guys trying to write for urban hip hop youth, and this is the time when you want to take the AEW approach and just give them the marching order of this is the objective. Say what you want to say as long as you hit the point, and they let them do it their way because that writers' room is not going to understand what and how they delivered their message. But
Yeah.
we got it. Everybody who was watching enjoyed it. And now we saw him on the main roster. Like, okay, we got a great new faction ready to come up, and they can do some things. I was looking forward to seeing Swerve against the big names on SmackDown. Um, they gave us false hope with the whole Sami Zayn angle they ran, and I don't get what they're thinking of. I mean, that they're struggling hard enough to get talent to fill out the top of the card, much less the mid card and those opening matches. And you're just letting these guys just walk out the door. Um, so It's confusing. I don't get it, and it just shows that Vince in that writers' room is getting more and more clueless by the day.
Yeah.
So, um, like you said, this is the biggest disappointment, biggest surprise of this round of releases. Morrison, I get. Um, they really didn't have anything good for him. He came back to team him up with Miz and let him rehash their old bit. And after a while, that gets old too. So they really had nothing for him. Like you said, I don't think he and Ty are going to be hurting for money. I mean, they've pretty much made their name everywhere but WWE. In Mexico, in Japan, touring all over the world. I mean, they're going to do a lot better outside of the WWE realm. I mean,
Hmm.
you look at his Lucha Underground run and see that when he's given a serious character, he could still be kind of campy with it, like he was there, but let him showcase his skills and put him across as a real legit wrestler.
Yeah.
Um, Man's gonna have some of the most entertaining matches you've ever seen. I'm a fan of his, and just not in the WWE system where he's just a comedy character and making bad jokes. And um, he's another talent wasted. So um,
Now, part of me thinks too he
that's
got to, but he got to hang out with the Miz, one of his good friends, for 2.5 years, and they got. I mean, so
yeah.
like is he thinking, oh, this is a fit? Like I don't know. That's on like it's a weird dynamic, like a weird, both like I feel like I'm talking out both sides of my mouth. Like, was his run the best? No, but at the same time, did we expect him? I mean, I guess you could have thrown him a couple world title matches, here and there, or IC title. But at the same time, I mean, him and Miz got to do whatever the hell they wanted. It felt, I think they kind of had the New Day leash. Like, all right, you want to throw a dumb hip hop video? Go at it. Like, so it's like it's hard for me to feel a little bad for him, but I get it that people
Hmm.
are, and like you said, and Taya, I mean, her, she's only got 30 days, and then she can go to Impact or AEW and get an income again. And so it's like, yeah, but and now of course he has 90 days, so he'll have to wait it out. But I mean, it's a holiday
Yeah,
season. You'll
but
get time to spend with family, and you'll get time to reassess yourself. I mean, it sounds like he wants to do the movies thing too, which I don't. I don't know if I see him as a movie guy. Do you, Greg?
I think it's possible you switch out
I
this
guess it
look a little
depends on the
bit. I mean,
movie.
true, and but he's ready for the camera. I mean, I watched
Yeah.
his season of Survivor just because he was on it,
Oh, okay.
and his screen appeal comes across even in that realm. I mean,
Okay.
I think that season there's only um, I don't think anybody really recognized him as a wrestler, but he kind
Mm,
of
okay.
led with that from the beginning, so
Yeah.
they knew. But
Okay.
um, that personality and charisma came through even um, outside of a WWE setting. So I can see
Hmm.
it happen.
Okay.
Um, and, good perform. I hope he tries it because
Yeah.
instead of having the same old retread guys in all the movies.
That's true.
No offense, Rock, but is there a movie that Rock or John Cena is not in these days?
I still,
Um,
speaking of The Rock, I have not watched Red Notice yet on Netflix, but I really need to sit down and watch that because that looks like a really fun movie with him and Ryan
you know what? I
Reynolds
just
and
watched that
Gab.
last night.
Was it worth it?
It was.
Okay,
I
good. And
really,
Gal
really enjoyed
Gadot,
it.
right? And she was it
Yep,
Gal
Wonder Woman.
Gadot, Wonder
She
Woman.
was
So yeah,
fantastic.
okay.
Some
So I need
great
to sit
fight
down and
scenes. Yeah, some great fight scenes. Ryan Reynolds was top notch. He was Deadpool level with the
okay,
one-liners
okay,
and the facials and everything
yeah.
was uh, great. So it's definitely a Netflix night movie.
I'll need to check that out.
Um, yeah, absolutely. So thumbs
What
up
about
from
Tegan?
this guy.
Any thoughts on Tegan Knox?
Um, I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see more of her because I like Tegan.
Yeah.
Um, and just more wasted potential. She what they were doing with her
Oh,
down in NXT was great. I loved the angle with her and Dakota, the turn at War Games. Um, it could have been a nuclear rivalry, and then she brought all that momentum up to the main roster, and they just killed it. So it's
a little
I'm just this whole round
bitten
is
too. Injury bitten too,
mm,
unfortunately. Like she fought through some tough
yeah,
knee, and like I said, I think that kind of hurt her here and there because it felt like she'd get going and then she, wrecked one knee and then wrecked the other. I think it was the other knee after. So, and then Drake Maverick. I mean, I will say,
yeah,
Greg, he made anything he had gold. I mean,
he
and
did.
and I'm not worried about him. I think hooking up with EC3, he's already put out a promo video. Like he literally put
I
out
was
a
going to ask you,
promo
did
that
you see
night.
that?
Yeah, so it's like
That
he's
video
ready.
was awesome.
I mean,
Um,
so he must have known the writing was on the wall because you just don't have that video, like Reddit. You don't have that video just like
mhm.
make that up in 30 minutes. Or you don't make it that day. But I think he'll be fine. Give him whatever he's going to do, and then Shane Thorne. We never got to see what he could. I mean, we saw him as Slapjack, but we never saw. And even then, Greg, I don't think he even wrestled that much. Then he was trying to do a
No,
Crocodile Dundee thing on like some dark matches. They never, let that run. But yeah, and then Jackson Riker, which we all thought should have been gone the first the
yeah,
first round of
I'm
cuts
surprised he was still there.
with Macklin and
um,
Buddy Wesley Matthews that time. Wesley Blake, whatever his name is, that
yeah, the Forgotten
group. Like I don't
Sons. Yeah.
so
Um, but yeah, if for those of you who haven't seen the Drake Maverick video, go to Twitter, pull it up.
check
It
his
is
yep.
5 minutes of awesomeness. I was gonna watch it, then I remembered the storyline behind his first release in the
Yep.
video and how that led to him that tournament that he was in, that groundswell support he got. So I had to watch it, and that 5 minute movie that he made was better than anything that WWE Creative gave him. Um, and it lifted you up. I'm gonna go run through a wall after watching that myself. It was so good.
Yeah,
I
whoever their
I
video
suggest
editors
everybody go
are,
watch it.
we need to figure out who EC3 has as a video guy because they put together some really great video stuff. So whoever they've been using, Braun, I think had something too, but I mean, so it's I think he'll be fine. But Tegan,
Yeah,
I will wonder if I'll be curious. I think she does an indie run. I think for a little bit, maybe her and kind of Mia Yim on that indie scene for a little bit of time before they really figure out, if AW wants them or if Impact wants them. But I guess we'll see, Greg. We're still not at the end of the year, so we'll see what are they just all saving up their money for MJF there in 2023?
could
Back
be.
up the truck,
That's what
back
he
up the truck
thinks.
to him. All right, I first would have thought Hangman would have been it, but now that he's champion, Greg, I'm like, well, Hangman's going to stay forever. So, but
Yep.
I'm kind of wondering if MJF could be that. All right, I brought it up a few times. Wardlow, because now we got to think. I would think over the next year, AEW guys' contracts would be up. So you wonder if they might make
Right.
the jump just to see what the water's like on the other side or what the grass is like. But I would think this year or next year, somebody even said they should try to get Jim Ross just for talent relations and scouting. But I think he's already done it there, and we don't see him ever
Hmm.
back. Other than if they ever induct him in the Hall of Fame as a broadcast guy, or is he already
Yeah.
in the Hall of Fame? Well, he's already in the Hall of Fame because they always say Hall of Famer Jim Ross. So never mind. So yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
speaking of,
I
oh, go
heard
ahead.
Tony Khan last night on Sirius before
Okay.
Rampage, and they were talking about that. They brought up MJF's line during his promo about the bidding war, and if he knew that line was coming, and does he expect there to be a bidding war? And Tony Khan was real about it. He said, absolutely. Um, Apparently, it's not the first time MJF has used that line behind the scenes. So he knew it was coming. And the big point he made was that he was disappointed for or hurt for the everyone who got released because it's a real thing, it's people's lives, people's jobs, and but with the uncertainty, even though you sign a contract, you know it's not a there's no loyalty, there's no sense of okay, I've signed a 3-year contract, I'm going to be here 3 years, whereas opposed to when you sign with him, that the length you sign for is the length you're going to get.
Yeah.
And that was the message he was sending across. So, and he's, preached his loyalty, and he's proven it by, keeping all those wrestlers signed during the pandemic when everybody was laid off and the arenas were closed. And he has honored his word. When you signed a contract with him, you're going to get the terms that you signed up for. You're not going to have to worry about getting fired 6 months after your run starts. And, he's put his money where his mouth is, literally. So, props to him. And he's kind of shined the light on that WWE is cutting all these people 15, 18 at a time, while at the same time boasting about this being the biggest financial quarter that they've had since 2019. So it's kind of hypocritical what they're doing there, making budget cuts in their most profitable year.
Yeah.
And you want family, you want loyalty, go to AEW. Want
That
to
is what's
not know if you're going to be working tomorrow, stay where you are.
Yeah. That is what's when you brag about record profits and then you're cutting people, that is a weird dilemma to have. Like, why are you cutting people if you're making record profits? So, because obviously they're making, and I mean, it's all, I compare it to a sports team. It's like, the Pacers, they lose players here and there for whatever reason, and you just keep supporting the team. It's like, I guess that's what you got to care more about the brand for WWE if you do care about it. And then, you like your superstars here and there. So, yeah. But we will get into AEW. Why don't we do a first kind of commercial break to kind of get ready for that? And then we'll get to some AEW Dynamite and Rampage talk. And so we'll give you some elite performance talk here real quick, and then be right back with AEW talk. All right, and we are back. So let's just get right into it. AEW Dynamite happened on Wednesday night, of course. We started the night right off hot, Greg, with the celebration for Hangman Adam Page. Just picking up the win like we all thought would happen. Just a strong effort there from AEW, Full Gear, and just really great matches and all that. I know we didn't get too deep into it. We could kind of jump back and forth. If we have a wrestler come up, Greg, and you want to talk about their Full Gear match, you can, and then we'll kind of go back there. But really, fun opening segment, because we also had Bryan Danielson come out, kind of towing the line between heel and face, and then just kind of went right into it. And I think this is what people wanted almost CM Punk to do, come out with this fire, this smarky, kind of towing the line between heel and face, but then just going all into it. So Bryan Danielson, just wants to take out all the Dark Order guys until he could get to Hangman Page. And He also went against Evil Uno, pretty decent match here and there, and of
Hmm.
course, a good kick from the American Dragon, and choked him out and immediate choke out. Not even like I didn't even know the bell was already ringing before I even saw the tap. So yeah, him and Evil Uno, but still be cool for Dark Order guys to mix it up with Brian Danielson, Greg, and eventually get to Daniel Bryan and Adam Page, which I saw Winter is Coming is going to be December 5th. Does that feel too soon for that match, though, Greg, or do we need to let it play out a little bit more for that to happen? Like New Year's Smash, maybe.
Yeah, because what, December 5th, 2 weeks from now. So
Yeah,
you'd like more time to let it breathe with a match this big. Unless you're going to do, a DQ finish and
yeah,
let that lead into New Year's match or something like that. Um, but yeah, to me, it's too soon. He's going to carve through the Dark Order. You still got about 10 more people to go. Um, but
NWO style.
yeah, I liked this opening segment. It was really, really good. And I like the edge that Brian showed right there.
Mhm.
And he's definitely tight roping the face and heel line at the same time. And I was waiting for him just to go full heel, start dissing the audience, and um, all the other standard heel tropes. But he didn't. He talked a lot of smack, and he got the champ's face. And instead of being like the cowardly heel, he's showing that this old MJF's phrase, he's better than you, and you know it. And he's going to prove it by beating up all your buddies,
Mhm.
and then it's going to be your turn. So that whole opening segment, the attitude he's showing, the that's definitely what I wanted to see. This a different side of him that we didn't get to see in WWE
Yeah.
unless he was full blown heel, and even then it wasn't as good as what we just saw. So the match was decent. Evil Uno was anything but evil. So I've always had issue with that. The guy with evil in his name does nothing that's evil. Um, but still a decent match. It proves its point. You know, Danielson is going to be a beast, and he's going to beast through the Dark Order.
Mhm.
And I think if you do it where he just gets incrementally um, more violent with each one, you know, and generates that build up, maybe gets under Cowboy skin more and more with each guy, you know, laying it in a little bit more with each one, maybe injuring a couple guys, then
Mhm.
by the time it gets to the two of them, it's going to be really serious, which is why it's better to stretch this out a little bit and use the Dark Order as pawns. But yeah, I'm liking where this the storyline is going.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think New Year's Smash is the last show on TNT. So you wonder if they might just let it play out there as like the final match on TNT before they move to TBS and kind of reset. Now, Greg, I know we've talked about it. Like, are we okay if Brian loses that high profile title match? Because I can't see them dropping the title that quick. But do you think it will? It won't hurt him though, right?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Um, it definitely won't hurt him. He's got all the momentum in the world, and taking one loss to Hangman is not going to, knock him down to, the back of the line. We're going to want to see another match after the match they're going to give us. So, you can definitely keep setting the program, and maybe after that first match, turn Brian full heel, and that's going to give another ripple to the storyline. So
Yeah.
there's lots of things you can do with these two, and keep drawing money for a few more months before transitioning both off to different opponents.
And I mean, I think it's a great first step for Adam Page as champion. I mean, there's not many hotter guys right now that you could throw, Hangman into a first feud with to really get the crowd behind him, and not that they're behind him already, but just to really show a legitimacy to his title runs. So, some other things on Dynamite, we had the Butcher and the Blade against Orange Cassidy and Ishii. I believe it was Ishii was his name. Just a
Mhm.
brutal hoss in the ring, just kind of hulking around there. And his first appearance on national television, New Japan, what was it, Never Open or Never Wait champion? But I know they have 1,000 titles in New Japan, so I forget which one. I thought it was
Yep.
the Never Wait or something like that. So um, we just need to finish off the Orange Cassidy Matt Hardy feud, correct, Greg? Like this thing just
Yeah,
keeps
it's.
going, and I see no end in sight for it.
I thought the last match, what the lumberjack match, was the end of it, but yeah, you're right. They keep changing channels with this rivalry. It's supposed to be, we're going to cut your hair, and they let that die, and then you thought that was going to be an end of it with the lumberjack match, and nope, that's not it. He's still hanging around during all of Orange's matches, so I don't see what the end game is in here because nobody's talking about it, nobody cares, and I like that they've associated Orange with this new faction out of Japan
Chaos.
and showing us Rocky Romero and
Mm-hmm.
this Ishii guy, and put him in a cast of more serious characters than best friends.
Yeah.
So I'm all for that, and showing us a different side to him. But the whole Matt Hardy angle, they can be done with that, and I think everybody will be happier for it because there's really no point to it right now that I can see.
And at least as long as we're not talking, if I lose this match, you'll get my first quarter earnings. Because wasn't that a stipulation
Right.
for it too? I think, or some that was some stipulation. But it sounds like for
Yeah.
the
That was
chaos
an
feud,
earlier one.
yeah, I forget who that was with, but yeah, I was just like, okay, like who cares? We know you're not giving anybody money. Like that's like talk about just not realistic ideas. But it sounds like for the chaos faction, the ultimate end game there is to get Okada, who's the huge New Japan star, on TV, and that sounds like why they're trying to slowly integrate some New Japan guys and Chaos faction. But yeah, Rocky Romero and the Daniel Bryan match that we saw in Indy was ridiculously good. So, and those guys have a lot
Hmm.
of history. So, some other things we saw: Nyla Rose defeated Sheeta. Nyla Rose will move on to the TBS championship. Any thoughts there, Greg? I mean, Sheeta kind of looks like she's lost everything, all the momentum that she had, when she lost the title. So,
Yeah, she definitely has. And I'm a Sheeta fan, so it's as long as things are redone within, they're not burying her.
mhm,
She and Nyla had a great match, and the finish was, um, believable.
mhm.
And maybe this is a way to write her off TV for a little bit. The knee injury angle, and she comes back, stronger. But um, yeah, she's definitely ice cold right now. Um, but it's a good time to take her off TV a little bit, reset, and then bring her back because she's a huge talent, and whenever she's in a match, you're not gonna be disappointed. So um, hope she's okay, but it's time to hit a reset button on her because I think the the her mystique and her that uniqueness is kind of worn off.
Mhm. Almost need to go another direction, which I don't know what other. It feels like with the Japanese wrestlers they have, they just all kind of stick them together, as far as what not stick them together, but give them other than Emi Sakura who has the queen like the Freddie Mercury type stuff happening. Everybody else is just
Hmm.
Rio has this "I'm happy to be here" thing that she does, and she just comes out with the kendo stick every time and looks like a street fighter. Like that's about it. So.
Yeah.
How about this though, Greg? So we're moving on from CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. Even though I thought after their Full Gear match with the no handshake, we would have kept going there. We might
Hmm.
be transitioning to CM Punk MJF, which that's a big uh, that's a big money match right there. Will that be the first loss CM Punk finally gets? Because it feels like MJF should come up, in the end of him. But we're kind of, I think we'll go through maybe Wardlow first. Who else is with the Pinnacle? Maybe Sean Spears, and then we'll get to
Hmm.
MJF and CM Punk. I mean, I guess you could still have the Eddie Kingston stuff out there, Greg, but it seems like they're just like, okay, we gave them the match. And of course, we talked about there was only what a 2-3 week build for that, so they kind of
Yeah.
rushed it anyway. And now you're just like, well, we're just going to push him into this. So, yeah, I mean, it was awesome though. CM Punk comes out there and does this like I'm doing right now, doesn't say a word, and walks away laughing. So yes, that's what you need to do with MJF. I think to get under his skin. You don't give a response back. You just walk away, and I think that's going to build it up. But I think we'll see some good, almost like Team Taz. CM Punk will have to go through some Team Taz to get to the final boss. So, how about MJF and CM Punk promo there or program here happening, Greg?
All for it, man. All for it. Uh, I am disappointed that they pivoted off the Eddie Kingston angle so quick, like you said, because I think they could have got a whole lot more mileage out of that. It's only one match, one victory, and then with
It's just done.
with Kingston, yeah, you could have got a couple more matches, and it only had 2, 3 weeks to build up, but it was white hot by the time we got Full Gear, and everybody was waiting for it. So, there's no reason you couldn't have, extended that for, a few more matches. So I think they missed an opportunity right there if in fact that they're moving away from that right now, right away, and not leaving that, specter hanging around, um, which is not guaranteed that that's the case. Maybe Kingston runs some interference or something, just to screw with him. So that would be an interesting angle to tie those three in together. But um, from the looks of things, it's away from Kingston and on to MJF, who, by the way, talk about the Full Gear match, the MJF and Darby
Darby
match.
Allen. Yep.
Holy crap! That's that match where you come back through Gorilla after that match and look at the rest of the locker room and go, top that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a main
that
event in a
was
year or two. Like that
for
should be a
sure.
main, or it could have been a main event
Uh,
now.
it was pretty much the main. It was definitely the best match of the night. Um,
Mhm.
and we brought it up last week that thought Heyman and Kenny or the Daniels and the Miro was going to be challenging for match of the night, but this match took the cake. The MJF and Darby burned the house down. So props to them. That was an epic match, and so I see why they put Punk on this plane with MJF, and I do think this is where Punk is going to take his first loss. Um, you can't come up to MJF and sun him and then not pay for it later. So I definitely think that this is going to be that extended program. We're going to see multiple matches. We're going to see Punk take his first loss, and angry Punk finally resurface. He did in the build up to the Kingston match, but I think we're going to get to see more of it now with MJF and how great a job he does pushing buttons and getting under his opponent's skin.
But hopefully keep him a little on the face side of things, because I feel like I don't want to go too heel heavy, because then you stop, then you start running out of faces to who you could like match him up with, because that's one thing that AEW does pretty well is heel versus face. We might like other than Cody Rhodes, we usually see where the lines are drawn. So, I think you could get by with face versus face, but heel versus heel, like that's what's we'll get into a Survivor Series. That's what I'm like with Becky and Charlotte. It's a little interesting dynamic there, but we also saw the Acclaimed go against Dante Martin, Leo Rush. Deontay Martin, Leo Rush pick up the win, Greg. They're really gelling as a tag team, and when whoever whoever the other brother is of Dante comes back, it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how Leo Rush and him kind of work together as far as that goes. So any thoughts on Leo Rush and Dante Martin as a tag team right now, Greg?
Yeah, they look phenomenal as a team together. Um, the way they move as fast as they are and as precise as they are, there are very few teams that can do what they do right now. And these guys have only been thrown together for a few weeks. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more matches with these guys. I've always been a Leo Rush fan from the moment I saw him. He reminds me of guys like Ricochet and Ray Phoenix, the guys who are super technical but fly all over the place and look good doing it. Um, so love this tag team, and we're all high on Dante Martin, and the sky's the limit for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely with the right guy right now as far as gelling, becoming a good tag team. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when his brother comes back and how he fits into the dynamic. If Leo goes back into a more managerial role and tries to raise them both up, or they turn on the brother, there's so many different options that they have for what can happen when the brother comes back. So it's just more layers to the onion that we get to enjoy.
Now that I'm thinking about it, Greg, I almost want the brother to join Team Taz, and then you have that aspect where the brother gets jealous. I mean, I know we do brother versus brother all the time, but you're leaving like because you have Team Taz keep trying to get Dante. Maybe the whole time they've gotten the other brother, and just because he was
Mm-hmm.
jealous of. And I'm glad Leo Rush is with Dante, because honestly, Dante's promo skills, Greg, are a little, and it's obvious. And I mean, he is 2021, so cutting a promo is still early on for him. But I wasn't expecting Stone Cold Steve Austin to cut promos the best at 20. So we got to give him some leeway. But it's good that you put a voice like Leo who can, he got Bobby Lashley over by talking
Yeah.
about Lashley's ass. So I mean, you can get anything over. So
Right.
yeah. And finally, Jay Lethal made his debut. By the way, we didn't even mention that, Greg. Jay Lethal's like, F this ship of ROH. I'm just going to leave now. I don't care about best in the world or, the last best in the world and all that stuff. Pay-per-view. If my contract's done, I'm done. So he's the first Ring of Honor guy to, that we see pop up somewhere else, Greg. And we haven't seen Jay Lethal do his, was it Black Machismo yet? Like the Ric Flair stuff, but I'm sure we'll see that at some point whenever Ric Flair
Mm-hmm.
shows up in AEW. But not a bad match, good match. We kept talking about Sammy Guevara needs to put the TNT title back in the forefront for himself, and that's why I was glad Team Lambert lost, and Jericho got the win. Even though I thought I heard Dan Lambert show back up on TV again last night, which I hope wasn't the case. But anyway, so yeah, just a good Jay Lethal, Sammy Guevara match. And then that was it. That was kind of the end. I think we are kind of waiting for something else to happen. And it was just a handshake and then the Sammy Guevara celebrating. So that was it. But not a bad match to introduce Jay Lethal I'm sure most of AW crowd knows him, Greg, but there's also young kids there that probably have no clue. But yeah, I just think it's funny that he's like, he jumped from the Titanic before it went down. He found a lifeboat already. So good on his end. But I'll be curious to see
Hmm.
if there's anybody else kind of doing that, right after the new year when ROH shuts its doors for the time being and reimagines themselves as what they could be. So thoughts on the end match there, Greg, for Jay Lethal and Sammy Guevara?
Yeah, I was surprised to see that he was the because at Full Gear somebody was going to get introduced.
Yeah.
Um, I was a little surprised it was him. I haven't seen him wrestle a match since Impact, but
Hmm.
I knew the guy is is a really good wrestler, and apparently in the time since Impact has gone to the birds, he's really made a name for himself in Japan and in ROH, and becoming like one of the top guys in the game. So
Hmm.
I've been known of that, but not really taking any effort to go watch his current matches. And I've only heard about these classics he's having with the Jay Whites and the
Hmm.
um, the top guys in ROH in New Japan, and just like proud of the guy because
Hmm.
I see what he was, and I saw the woo off in real time at Impact, and it popped me hard because being Ric Flair fan my whole life, that was too funny, and
Hmm.
so I'm happy he's doing great for himself, and to see him pop back up, and they put him over on Full Gear, you know that this was a big deal, Jay Lethal, and the crowd popped for him, and it led to this match. I enjoyed the match aside from the whole um, business with Sammy's ribs and him being down for so long.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if it's one of those moments where he really was injured, and but you don't see the universal X that they throw up when a guy is um, legit injured.
Yeah.
Um, so if they're just milking it, it was almost 5 minutes of just wasted time,
Yeah.
and it took away from some of the flow of the match, or a lot of the flow of the match. And
Hmm.
then I know what they're getting at, having Sammy push through and squeeze out a win any way you can. You overkilled it a bit there with selling the injury. Um, that was my only complaint about it. It was still a solid match. Jay Lethal looked great. Sammy looked great. They pulled off some awesome moves. And yeah, I was waiting for something at the end too, with the whole inner circle kind of surrounding Jay Lethal in the corner. Um, I half expected them all to jump in. So, but nothing happened, and everybody shook hands and made nice. So, good ending to and a great main event. So,
It's almost one of those things. I wonder if maybe you reverse. We always think like, do you do the Hangman stuff at the end and then the match with Evil Uno and Brian Danielson at the end and kind of let that play off? Like sometimes I do wonder about the production. Sometimes I feel like the best things aren't the opening and maybe it should have been saved for the end. And then sometimes the end stuff should have been, but it's one of those growing pains and they'll learn, what they want to put. So, yeah. Any other full gear thoughts you had, Greg? While we wrap that up for AEW side, then we'll get to Survivor Series talk.
um, hmm.
I
No,
think
not that I
I
could
think
think of
the
off the top of my head.
the tag team match, the FTR and Lucha. I was kind of surprised we didn't
Yeah.
get the tag switch, but I thought that was pretty solid. We also had the Falls Count Anywhere. Um, we still have all the Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy and Christian stuff with the elite. For now, that seems to be kind of keep it going. Darby and MJF, ridiculously good match. Like we said, I mean, that should probably main event in a year or two. I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
those
absolutely.
two. I mean, we talk about the pillars, but they're slowly eclipsing who's the other. I'm trying to think. That so Sammy Guevara and who's the other?
Sammy, Darby, MJF,
MJF.
and
We're blanking on the fourth. Oh, Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I am. Yeah, yeah. They're and obviously Darby and MJF have eclipsed those right now. And Jungle Boy, I I feel like this whole stuff with the elite is kind of dragging him down. It seems like, I mean, if he can get over on Adam Cole at some point, I feel like that would help him. But is that going to happen? So, um,
yeah. They're trying out the singles match between Adam Cole and Jungle Boy, doing all these tag team matches, and they really need to pivot off of that and get to the one on one.
yeah,
That being said, Full Gear, the six man with Jurassic and Christian against the Bucks and Adam Cole was really good. Or
mhm.
yeah, I wasn't sold on it halfway through, but the way they finished it was great. So they reeled me in, and by the time the match was over, I was highly entertained, and
The V
put that
trigger
in.
with the knee pads, the studded knee pads, and then
Yeah,
Christian diving off the little, even though that dive didn't look at like in real time, it didn't look as high as I would have thought, but it wasn't quite Jeff Hardy diving off, like from that little MSG at Survivor Series type. But it was pretty good fall. I mean, Christian always looks like a kid jumping into the water and like for the first time ever. Every time he does those, I mean, it's just funny. So, and then of course, Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega that just had all the near falls you needed. And I thought, I mean, I was wondering, I'm like, oh man, they're not going to pull the trigger on Hangman, but then they finally did, and I was really happy. You could just tell the elation of that. So, yeah, Full Gear. I mean, it was a really solid, excellent pay per view. And now though, we got Winter is Coming, which saw the emergence of Sting last year, and that's when Omega won against John Moxley. So I'll be curious to see what they'll build up for that. And then at the end of the month of December, we have New Year's Smash, which will be the last two, on TNT as far as Rampage and Dynamite, I believe. So as they move to TBS. So we'll get wrestling back on TBS there, Greg. 6:05 on a Saturday night, right?
yep. That's the prime
They
time
should put it
spot.
on.
Yep.
They need to do that for Rampage. I don't know, whatever, but they won't. So, yeah.
But
Anyways,
another interesting wrinkle that they're doing now is that with Kenny being out, that I think this is where the leadership of the elite switches over to Adam Cole,
yeah, yeah.
and it's definitely going
Kenny gets
to
upset about that.
right, and then we end up with the elite getting splintered, or you know going like NWO red and black against the black and white.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we're going to end up seeing, a year from now, Adam versus Kenny for control of the elite, or one gets thrown out or something like that. So the
Because Kenny's
the
due.
double
I mean,
kiss.
yeah, the double kiss. I guess he's been nursing injuries like wrestling hurt, and so yeah, give him all the time. I don't mind him taking off, 5-6 months, and just get all the way
Yeah,
healthy and help back, help production wise or help backstage if you need to. But yeah, like you said, and we'll probably see a certain undisputed member back in AEW soon enough with Kyle O'Reilly, Greg. So we'll get Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole all back together as undisputed eras. So who am I missing? The fourth? Oh, Roderick. I feel like Roderick Strong's
Roger.
staying in it, and I think we don't see him. I mean, now he's got Diamond Mine. That's his baby. So, but Kyle Wright with Greg, yeah, the writing's on the wall there. he's probably just counting down the days on that contract. So,
Right.
if he's not camping out with Vaughn, so that is AEW talk for us. Let's do one more commercial break. Actually, we'll do a couple because we got to get these in. So we'll do Sean Nugent for your realty talk, and that gives you some rogue energy, and then we'll get right into Greg. Survivor Series has a new meaning in WWE. It's Survive the Cuts anymore. It's not just Survivor Series. So we'll see who becomes our survivor after all these Nick Khan cuts lately. So Sean Nugent with your realty talk, then some rogue energy, and right into it.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Dan over at BWSports1.com and Black and White Sports. And I'm wondering if you're ready to buy or sell that home, now's the time, and I got just the person for you. Mr. Sean Nugent, a.k.a. Rockstar Realtor himself. 317-503-8322. Put that home on the market. Get into your dream home with this man. Talk to Sean at Talk to Tucker today, 317-503-8322, and make sure you tell him the boys over at BWSports1.com sent you.
All right, let's get right into it. Some Survivor Series talk. I'm going to share what we got going on there. First, Greg, I want to hear, do you have any good, because for me, I have a really awesome Survivor Series memory, which involves 2012, because I was live for the debut of The Shield, and it doesn't get much better than that. And fun fact, Greg, the Seth Rollins turn on The Shield happened in Indianapolis. So I was there for the beginning and the end. And one other trivia fact for myself, I just missed out on the Undertaker streak because I was at WrestleMania 8. And we all know the streak started at 7, Greg. But then I was at 30 and the streak was broken. So if I ever meet the Undertaker, I'll be like, why couldn't you just wait 1 year to start your streak? Because there can't be that many people that would be able to be, as a fan, Greg, saying, yeah, I saw the beginning and the end of the streak for the Taker like that. I would feel like I've been in a rarefied air for that. But yes, Survivor Series 2012 was the debut of the Shield, so that's always fun for me to throw back. And just the debuts, we had Taker debut at Survivor Series. We had The Rock debut. I mean, Sting technically debuted at Survivor Series. Was that 2013 to help Dolph Ziggler? If we remember that guy, pick up the win for Team Raw, I believe it was, or Team SmackDown, I believe it was. So, it kind of sucks that Survivor Series has become this afterthought it has, because like you said, for us, Greg, growing up in, the 90s, I loved watching, Hulk Hogan team up with whatever 3 guys he was going to team up with, or the Ultimate Warrior team up with 3 guys. And, you had the fun nicknames. And now it's just become brand versus brand, but there's no stakes involved, so it doesn't matter. And we have brand people fighting each other like last night and the night before. So it's like, do they care about their brand? And then you have, of course, Greg, Adam Pearce and Sonya are like, I want Team Raw to win, but I also want Team SmackDown to win. So it's like, make up your mind. But first off, Greg, do you have any good Survivor Series memories that you want to throw out there as far as that goes?
Definitely not as good as yours, man. You had
I know, right?
We're there for some good stuff, man. No, I'm with you though. I loved the old school Survivor Series with the team names, and it was one of the pay-per-views I look forward to the most because seeing like them just taking the top five stars off of each brand and put them against each other. Um, so I hated Hogan, but seeing him and Savage and um, all the top guys, all the top faces against all the top heels, uh, it was great. And then moving on into the Attitude Era, still that same mentality, still those juicy matchups, and they've completely lost their way now with the way they formatted this. With you know, these are the five, but they all hate each other, and they're
Mhm.
all wrestling each other, beating each other up, and it's just taking the whole starch out of the Survivor Series for me. I mean, um, they're still putting, yeah, it's not even like the whole top five the way they used to do in the old days. And when you see, the Mysterios were in, and the, even Tony Storm being in there now, it's not the top five against the top five.
Yeah.
I get, the champions being aside because the champion base is the champion, but 2 through 6 being in this match on both sides. They're not doing that anymore, and it's taken away a lot from the whole Survivor Series dynamic, as well as the infighting, and then the manager or the officials taking you know being in business for themselves and not caring about the teams. So it's kind of all wasted for me. But
Why not have like Big E captain a team and then go against Roman Reigns captain? Because that's the thing too. Like your champions should be your captains. You don't need them
true,
in one on one. You need them for your team if you care about. Our Becky picks a team. I mean, even I do not. And then you could throw guys like the Mysterios with Damian Priest. Like I could get behind that because that's kind of that mid card level. And then you do a kickoff one like I don't now. Am I going to be like? Do I want to see Big E go against Roman? Yeah, but at the same time, that probably could be safe for Royal Rumble or be safe for WrestleMania. Down the road, like you're kind of wasting it here when it doesn't have any meaning. So, uh, and we didn't even bring it up, Greg. We forgot about the screw job being probably the most famous um,
right, right.
Survivor Series, which is really funny because then I think about Survivor Series '98. They did the same exact damn finish with The Rock and Mick Foley. Now, granted, that was literally all work, but that was one. And I will say, Greg, that was the first pay per view I recall like being, oh my god, like kind of pissed off because Mick Foley wasn't going to win the title. So I always think of that as one of my memories too. But it's funny to think 2 years you did the same exact thing. Granted, one was a legit work. The other was, hey, let's just do it again because we got heel guys. So yeah, but I think you just need. I think next year they really need to think about why not just having our champion pick his team and go get and still do champion versus champion, but they're throwing it into the team format and giving stakes. I keep saying that. Give up draft pick or you win a draft pick or you get a guy from the other brand. Give us something that we can. I think they did a trophy one year even, but now they don't. Now it's just
Mhm.
like they don't even have they don't do the scorecard. I don't think the 1 year NXT
Right.
one. I think they did the NXT swept everything, but that was a fun year because you had all I felt like really top guys. We had Keith Lee going against Roman Reigns in the ring there, and you had
Hmm.
really it felt like tough top competition. So because now looking at this, Greg, I didn't even know we're doing a 25-man dual brand battle royal. I'm believing it's on the kickoff, but it could be on the main show. Who knows? But in honor of The Rock's 25th anniversary. So we're not going to get The Rock, Greg, but we're going to get a 25-man battle royal with the likes of, Ricochet, T-Bar, Mansoor, Cesaro, the Viking Raiders, the Street Profits, R-Truth, Drew Gulak, and AJ and Omos. And then, of course, Sami Zayn, Los Lotharios, Commander Aziz, Paul Cruz, Alpha Academy, Hurt Business, Ziggler and Rude, and Slim Shanky and Jinder Mahal. So I'll just predict it. I'm going to just flip a coin. Team Raw wins, Craig. So I'll just give you SmackDown. How about that? Because who the hell cares about this 25-man? I mean, I love Battle Royal, so it'll be fun to watch. But at the same time, it's not going to mean anything. So do you have any thoughts, Greg, on the 25-man dual brand Battle Royal?
Yeah, I don't even think The Rock is going to watch it because, I mean, the names in there are just, the guys who chase the 24/7 title, the rest of the Job Squad, tag teams. Yeah, it's just everybody who didn't get a Survivor Series match. You're getting thrown into the Battle Royal. We could throw some debuts in there. It would be a good spot to throw some debuts in there. But it's how to throw some debuts when you're cutting everybody. So, this would be a good showcase for Hit Row. Hello. Let them come in there and wipe everybody up.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of screwing themselves. This Battle Royal is just a way to get more bases on TV, I think.
And like I said, I don't know if it's kickoff. I imagine it's probably going to be the kickoff, I would imagine. Like on the kickoff show. I can't believe they're going to put this on the main card. So
yeah.
Do you mind if I give you SmackDown team? Are you blue brand or red brand, Greg?
Right now I'm blue brand. Yeah.
Okay. First, you notice my color here. I was very specific with my color there, but yeah. Anyway, so how about this? Nakamura versus Damian Priest. I think this is going to be a fun match. I mean, I don't think these guys have ever mixed it up together. Well, I think they would have just missed each other in NXT. Nakamura was, yeah. So I think this might be the first time they're mixing it up together on the main roster. So, this could be kind of that under the radar, better than we think match. I will say Damian Priest picks up the win because it just feels like they really want to push him more than Nakamura. So who do you got, Greg, in this match?
Well, before I get to that, I thought that would be another idea for our whole issue with, having the champions be the captains and picking their own teams. That even if you want to keep champion versus champion as a singles match, you could take that secondary title, like international or the Intercontinental and the U.S., and have those captains pick a team.
Yeah.
So
yes,
now you get 2 through 6 against 2 through 6, and do it that way.
Yeah.
And that way you have 2, marquee matches at the top. And I definitely see they're trying to get Priest some more momentum. They're putting them over strong. They're doing this new thing with, having
more aggressive.
Dark Damien coming out being more aggressive. At the same time, though, they're really leaning in big with Nakamura and Boogs, because Nakamura and Boogs are getting over. Probably more than they thought they would. And I think Pat McAfee has been a bigger part of that than they expected too.
Yeah.
But they put both these champions over strong, and it is going to be a great match if they are given the right amount of time to tell a story and deliver a great match, which any match Nakamura's in can be a great match. I can tell from his NXT debut to now, when I'm not rushing the match to be over in 5 minutes, Nakamura brings it. So Priest, on the other hand, being the more unknown quantity, um, this is a match that they should, let it breathe, give it 10, 15 minutes, and then you got a good, solid 4-star match. As far as the winner, I'm going to go opposite and stick with my blue brand and take in Nakamura.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's, yeah, like I said, I think both these guys, and it does suck for Nakamura. I think I saw the stat. He's only defended the IC title once since like SummerSlam or something like that. So, or even before that. So, yeah, we got to get him some title defenses soon. RK Bro, Raw Tag Team Champions versus Tag Team Champions of SmackDown, the Usos. I'll say the Usos, Greg. I think they want to keep the bloodline strong still. And, this will be. I'll be curious to see how Orton, now Orton's shown a different side. He's starting to turn a little more. Maybe Riddle shows a more aggressive side in this to take things seriously, a little more seriously. But I still feel like they might eat the L here, just because I feel like the Usos are the bigger story, and I believe Roman will probably go for Big E. So I think that's why you want to kind of keep all the bloodline strong, but I'm going to call Blue Brand here, Greg, for my winner. How about yourself?
This is one I'm kind of on the fence for. Um, and I love the Usos, but I still think like hottest act in the game right now is RK Bro, and there's a RKO out of nowhere waiting for one of them. So I'm gonna take your red guys and stick with them for this one.
Yeah. What about Becky Lynch and Charlotte? So we got Becky, Raw Women's Champion. We have Charlotte, SmackDown Women's Champion. We are here in a real life. Their friendship is done. Becky would be happy if Charlotte wasn't even part of it. There's been some shots fired, and even Charlotte trying to address some of it. I feel like Charlotte is going to be more company line, like than than Becky. Becky just doesn't care. So Becky will call her a bitch and, say stuff like that in the press and all that. So the real life stuff is giving some juice to this, as I like to use one of your words, Greg. I love your word of juice whenever we get to these matches, but so there you go. Trademark Greg for that. I'm gonna go Becky. I think I just love Becky so much. Becky is my woman that I'll never get, so I have to go with Becky in the win here. Even though it wouldn't surprise me if Charlotte wins, and maybe SmackDown will be the dominating force here. But I feel like Becky's got a lot more to gain by beating Charlotte, and moving away from both of them, and Becky bragging on that would be a lot better than Charlotte bragging on it. So. Yeah, I'm going to go Team Red here, Greg. What about yourself?
Yeah, the real life story unfolding is getting real interesting, and it's definitely adds a lot more juice to the whole match overall, especially if you're believing what they're saying, that Charlotte is a few weeks away from getting released because of all the animosity and going off script, and her reputation for being so hard to work with. But the other girls, I've seen a couple things written that they need to give her enough weeks to drop the championship, and then she's going to be gone. And you take all that stuff with a grain of salt. Triple H will tell you in a second not to listen to the dirt sheets and all that stuff on the internet. But with all these layoffs, things like that have been going on, and the names are dropping haven't been small names. Charlotte Flair would be the biggest name of this year, by a wide margin if that actually happened. But so that kind of clouds my prediction if that's what they're actually working on. and it would make more sense for Becky to get that win before Charlotte leaves. And, Becky has more to um, brag about. She can say she's the one who ran Charlotte out. It adds to more to Becky's character.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not the case and Charlotte's staying around, then she's the best female on the roster right now, and her ring work is the best, regardless of what everybody says about her working with the girls backstage and how difficult she is. The in ring does not disappoint. So, as far as my official prediction, um, just going off of instinct, I'm calling it for Charlotte.
And you know what? I kind of wonder, Greg, knowing not knowing Vince McMahon, but just this aura that I have of him, or kind of perception of him, doesn't he almost want Charlotte being that kind of difficult person just to keep people on their toes? I mean, like at work, I feel like you always have that person that you don't want to work with necessarily, but it almost keeps things honest in a way. Does that make any? You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
I mean, I can't see her. The only way she leaves if her contract runs out and she ultimately wants to. Like, I don't see them letting her go. I just feel like because you'd really have people jumping ship, fan wise. If people aren't jumping ship now, I mean, if that, that would, like you said, if she was let go on December 31st, that would be the biggest name. I mean, in a while to be let go. Now if she leaves after contract is out, that's her choice. She'll be the Adam Cole. I won't fault her, but let her go.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting, thinking that she's too difficult or what. Like, I don't know. I feel like Vince would be like, we need that in the back. We need somebody keeping
Yeah.
people on their toes. So like, yeah, there's a weird dynamic there.
Yeah, I agree with that. And looking at on the same lines, a guy who had that same reputation on the men's side was Undertaker, where he was that guy. He kept everybody in line, and he was the one who would tell. I've heard this story from multiple superstars where, if you don't take this punch and sell it like you're supposed to, I'm going to tag you for real.
Yeah.
And when you got in the ring with this guy, you better be on your game. Otherwise, you might get jacked up. So, it could be the same way, when Charlotte is in a match with a girl is, they lay it out what the match is going to be. And Charlotte's the elder stateswoman now. So she knows the in and outs, the A, B, and C's. And everybody who's in the ring with her right now are younger and not as polished. Take away the four horsewomen, Becky, Charlotte, or Becky, Sasha, and everyone else right now. Maybe aside from like Natty, it's are a lot younger, a lot greener, and they need a lot more work. So in there with Charlotte, of course, Charlotte's going to be one calling the shots. So with women are a caddy. They're going to not like it. They're going to be more outspoken, and that's probably what all this contentiousness is about. But
And
I definitely agree with your point that she could be that Undertaker on the women's side that keeps everybody else kind of in check.
And Charlotte to me has always been. It seems like on the outside she could show everything, but inside I always wonder if she's that. I hate saying that tick away from just being really just depressed. Like exude self confidence on the outside, but on the inside you wonder what exactly is going on. I do feel like mentally I wonder at times, especially reading her book with Rick Flair. It seems like she's always trying to find, prove them right. Like how often, how much longer can you keep wanting to do that, before it just kind of wears on you. So,
Yeah.
by the way, speaking of Natalia, Greg, she tweeted out last night marked her 500th win, which is crazy to think.
Wow.
So, congrats to her, even though I still don't care for her, but happy for her. And we will jump right in. Well, sorry, we got one more champion versus champion. I kind of gave away my call because it feels like it's all Roman all the time. So I'm calling Roman to beat Big E. I still think we're going to get a hard-hitting physical match. I wonder if this might close the night or will it be right before the men's Survivor Series match type deal. But, I think we'll see Spear versus Spear. And, maybe the Usos play a part. Maybe New Day plays a part just to kind of give that storyline to it. But I'm going to say Roman gets the win, but still feel really good for Big E even being in this program with Roman. I feel like this is solidifying Big E as well. So, I don't think you could go wrong with either. I think it would help Big E, obviously, to go over Roman, but I don't foresee Roman losing this type of match. So I'm calling Blue Brand here. So I think that gives me, let's see, I've only given Raw 1, 2. I think I'm going to like 2 and 2 so far, 3 and 2. So we're still close in wins, but yeah, I'm going Roman here, Greg. What about you?
Yeah, it's definitely a coin flip. Um, Roman hasn't taken a clean loss yet, and but you want to do it here because it would make sense with they've taken out Kofi, they've been beating down Woods for like the last couple shows, and doing all the thing with the crowd, which I'm happy about with the whole King of the Ring aspect of it, and breaking the scepter and destroying all the paraphernalia and kind of adding some realness to it. Roman holding down Woods and smashing the crown and going, I don't need a prop. And just kind of clowning him for the gimmick he's been working on for so long, just to add some realness to it. So I like that part of it. But the way they've been taking advantage or getting the one up on the New Day, for this past month, you want to see E get his, comeuppance. And I want to call a disqualification win for him. Maybe he hits Roman with that big ending, and then the Usos run out the back and jump him, and put them both over, because E's going to get a disqualification win, but maybe the three of them, gang up and take out E at the end, so that Roman can be the last one standing. That's the ending that I would write. And when I watch it, that's what I hope happens. But officially, I believe that they're still going to give this one to Roman, and he's going to have to get back a different way.
Yeah.
So I'm still sticking with Blue.
Yeah, and I think it's just be a really strong match, and I can't wait to see them really duke it up and go at it, and just a different, because this is a different Big E than we've seen going against Roman, and obviously Roman has been in different levels since last year, so it's just crazy to see that. Then we get to our meat and of the heart of the matter right here. We got the Survivor Series matches. We'll go to the women's side first, Greg. So we have Raw, which is Bianca. We have Rhea Ripley, we have Liv Morgan, we have Selena, Queen Zelina, and we have Carmella going against Team SmackDown, which is Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, Natty, and Toni Storm. I would love to see Toni Storm get featured in this, but I feel like she's going to eat the L right away. I could see Carmella getting right out of there quickly. What does Shotzi and Sasha kind of go at each other? I feel like it's ultimately going to be Bianca, Greg, kind of being a sole survivor or getting the win, we're still high on her. So I'm calling Team Raw here. I think SmackDown, has a strong team in a way, just with some, but Raw just looks like the better team overall. So I'm going Team Raw, Bianca being the winner in this match. Maybe Soul Survivor, probably going against like Shayna and Natty and just, picking up wins there. So how about you, Greg?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. The Raw team seems stronger than the SmackDown team. Uh, the angle with the infighting, I'm not enjoying it. Plus, I think Natty and the Defined Down Shayna is dragging the whole team down. I was liking what they were doing at Shayna for a little bit, where they had her taken out, had her take out Naya, had her take out Eva Marie, and looks like they were
Literally.
giving her killer instinct back. Yeah,
They're
and
no longer with us.
yeah, but now she's become a member of the Goon Squad, and she's in on the fix with Naomi, and she's gone back to being, an afterthought, and they're not, you know, keeping that viciousness, that meanness that um, she's always had. And the scene that we saw teaming with Nia is not pretty. So um, just as the way that they've been weakening her, and you know, Nad being Natty, that's probably going to be she's going to take the first fall of the night probably. Um, yeah, I definitely think Raw is going to win the women's match.
And then finally, the men's Survivor Series. So we got SmackDown side, captained by Drew McIntyre. We have Jeff Hardy. We have Xavier Woods, King Xavier. Hopefully, he can still make it. And Happy Corbin and Greg Sheamus. I thought last night, I'm like, I kept saying he's going to win. I'm like, you could have put any of those. Give me Cesaro. I know Cesaro probably would eat the L right away. Give me Ricochet, but no, we went Sheamus. Like, you went the safe pick. You went we know Sheamus, what he could do, and I get it. I'm not hating on Sheamus, but at the same time, Sheamus doesn't need to be in this match. So, and then Raw side, we have Seth Rollins, the captain, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory, which I believe I called, Greg. I said Austin Theory should have been on this team. So I take credit for that. Once again, they're listening to our podcast because
Yep.
Now I did not think that he would get in the way he did, but I said it makes sense that you would put him in there. I'm still thinking, I feel like Drew, I think they want to get Drew back in the forefront. So I feel like Drew is going to win for his team. Even though it feels like the Raw team, once again, is stronger than the SmackDown side of things. But I feel like Drew getting the win, slowly building him up to go against Roman, maybe at Royal Rumble or maybe at WrestleMania, Greg. I think that's the end game there. So, or maybe all 3 months, so I'm calling Team Blue for the win here. And yeah, but I do not agree that Sheamus needs to be on this team at all. So I'll just get that out of the way. How are you feeling about this men's Survivor Series style match, Greg?
I still want hashtag justice for Finn, hashtag justice for Ricochet. I'm still sick of what they're doing with both of these guys. They so don't deserve what they've been getting. But as far as the match itself goes, it's a tough call. Give me the lineups one more time.
Oh, so we have
Who's where?
Yeah, so SmackDown has Drew, Jeff Hardy, Sheamus, King Xavier, and Baron Corbin, Happy Corbin. Raw has Seth, Kevin, Finn, and Austin Theory and Lashley.
Yeah, I have to take Raw.
I mean, Raw is the stronger team
in,
when you really consider what they have.
Definitely. And Seth being Seth, I can see them, or he being the one who gets that final fall. Maybe another matchup with Drew on the other side, or I just don't see, Sheamus or Happy Corbin. Definitely not being the one to be the sole survivor. There's a lot more candidates on the Raw side between Lashley and Seth and Finn, KO. They've been playing into the whole, dysfunction thing with their side of the squad too, but they seem like a more cohesive unit. And even if one of them is responsible for taking another one out, this is definitely a better squad than what SmackDown's bringing. So I'm going to take Team Red.
And for Seth still has the contract that he can get a championship title at any point. So, I wonder if maybe KO picks up the surprise win on his way out the door, Greg. So, and of course, your boy Finn, my boy Finn, I would love to see him. I don't think he picks up it. I think Finn will have the strongest showing, if that makes any sense. Maybe he takes out Corbin, takes out Sheamus, gets a couple wins. Probably eats. I mean, him and Drew mixing up, I think, would be awesome because you got the two Irish or two Scottish, and Irish. They always fight each other. So, and Lashley. I mean, Lashley's still kind of in the background, but he could be in any forefront. So, I'm very surprised. I'm going Team SmackDown, but at the same time, I think they need it more. Especially if you want Drew kind of back in the forefront. Maybe on that collision course with Roman. So, those are our predictions, Greg. We kind of we got it done here, a little short, sweet. Nothing really from Raw. I mean, I was live for Raw. Fun night. Just it's nice to be back in wrestling in live crowds. So, I joked, I'm like, I could do this every week. So, but give me a live band or live concerts or live wrestling every week, and I'll be a happy man. But nothing really stood out. The dark match was Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, and Bianca got the DQ win or something like that. So not that it matters ultimately. So any last thought? Who do your Chargers got this week, Greg?
We Pittsburgh Sunday Night Football.
Okay.
Here Ben just came off the COVID list, so it looks like he's going to play. They have a bunch of team or guys who are not going to be playing, but actually I wanted Ben to play because he's going to be a statue standing back there, and the Chargers weren't spared by the COVID list either because Joey Bosa is not going to end up playing.
Oh, okay.
Because he's been put on.
Did he get it or close contact?
I didn't see. I think it was close contact, but I have to double check. But
okay.
He's on the list, so he's not playing. But the young Gohards we have on defense, they're going to go and hit the statue quite a few times, I think.
Yeah.
So excited for that. I'm excited because there've been two AEW shows announced for North Carolina. One in Greensboro in December, and then they're going down to my hometown in Raleigh.
Okay, that's
in January, and it's gonna be the first show at PNC in Raleigh. So I will definitely be there for that.
AEW shows to go. Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited. This might be like return to the territories where Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas is where they do the concentration of their shows. Yeah. So I'm down for that.
Who do you root for in basketball? I forget who you said you pull for. And do you root for anybody in basketball?
Now the Phoenix Suns,
Oh,
and then for
yeah,
college,
I
yeah,
forget.
college the
My
NC
bad.
State.
Okay. Yeah, and
But
my
yeah,
Pacers.
Suns are killing it right now.
Well, not like my Pacers. They at least they broke 90 last night, Greg. Because I don't know if you saw, they
Wow.
hit back-to-back nights. They didn't break 90. I don't know what is going on there. Like, because like a week ago we looked, we didn't look great. I didn't think, but we were putting up points and we were picking up wins. We picked up a couple wins, and then this week was like, woo, like the Knicks game, and then they lost to the Hornets, and they got the Pelicans at home tonight. So, yeah. It sucks because I love the Pacers so much. I just want them to do well, and then I saw the Warriors picked up a loss. I don't know who they lost to because they're up 14-2 now. So I didn't see. I remember they were 14 or 12-1 or something like that, and then so I didn't see who they lost to. But yeah. All right. Well, we'll head off, and I'm gonna do Christmas decorating today. I got some stuff to finish up. As you can see, I got a naked tree over here I need to fix. I know. I didn't want to show it, but I showed it on camera anyway. So, and then this is a deflated Santa over there that I inflate because I love inflatables in my house too. So, yeah, I got some. I am the before Thanksgiving, Greg. Are you before or after for decorating for Christmas?
After. I go as long as humanly possible before. Yeah, I'm usually talked into putting this stuff up. I'm not a fan of the lights or all the stuff you had to dig out of the attic and then listen to the foreman tell you where to put it all up, and what the foreman means. So
that was Mom.
This is the year I don't have a foreman. So
that was Mom for me.
Yep. And for a woman, we should be saying.
Yeah. Or person.
So I'm all about, waiting as long as possible for those things go up. But I would take all the decorations that you want as long as you turn off or leave the Christmas music off.
Until after Thanksgiving?
Drives me up a wall.
You don't are you Christmas?
I don't even want it after Thanksgiving.
Oh my goodness! Oh come on!
I don't want it at all.
I will say, I think it's because there's no new Christmas music. Like all these Christmas stations, it's all Sinatra, Dean Martin. It's the Rock Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee. It's Walking in Winter Wonderland. All I Want for Christmas is my two front teeth. Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer. I mean, you got to think, Greg, running a Christmas station is the easiest job ever because you just give them the 30, 40 songs back here. Just take it. Just hit play, hit repeat for 24 hours or for 8 weeks. I mean, you don't need a DJ. You don't need any breaks. You could throw in your Sirius XM. Welcome to Holiday Traditions, and we're back. I think that is and I have some bands I listen to. They put out Christmas stuff, like Christmas songs, legit, but they're never going to make it on, the holiday station because you have your playlist. And Last Christmas, All I Want for Christmas Is You. It's Christmas, Greg, when you hear Mariah Carey every hour, once every hour. Like, you'll be driving somewhere, you'll get back in the car, she's still singing, and it's a different station. So yes, there is. Actually, I've heard My Chemical Romance cover All I Want for Christmas Is You. So I always try to bring that up on my playlist to play, Greg, because it's a little bit better. But
I'd be down for that. I love some MCR. So give me that and give me Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yes.
And
that's
it. That's the extent of the.
Is to map out the lights to Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Greg. Like if I could do that outside and figure out how that works, I'm done. Christmas is over. Just lock it up. I don't need to. I'll just leave the lights out all year and leave that just play it. But yes, my house is like, I always joke, I call it the Steven Wonderland because it looks like Christmas has thrown up in my house. So, and I do thank my mom because she gave me that love of decorating. But it was, I hopefully she's not watching because I hated decorating with her. When she'd be like, no, that ornament doesn't go there. It goes over here. And I'm like, no, you got to put all the Wizard of Oz characters together. That's how they look. You know, we used to do, so she worked at Hallmark, Greg, for 13 years. So you can only imagine how many Hallmark ornaments, like her, because she had a box in the back where they could put back, you know, stuff that they wanted. And like every year they'd be like, somebody had to give her their box because her box would be overflowing. And they'd be like, just take my box too. So yes, we we have a lot of, we always joked we should have kept track, like, you know, counting, but we would have lost track like of Hallmark ornaments that we had. And then the worst was the light motion, because you take out the light bulb and forget what you did with it the next year. So you pull out the lights and the lights wouldn't be working. And so my dad would grumble about like, okay, where's the light bulb? I'm like, oh. But now they'll pin the light bulb in the box or what. Like that's the one thing I don't help them with, Greg. I'll help them with anything else. I'll be like, oh, you're doing the tree tonight? Oh, I can't wait to see it. Yeah, if she's watching, she's totally gonna hate me. But I'll help outside. I'll help put up banisters. I'll help it. But if that tree comes out, I'm like, because I have 2 trees of myself. So I have a blue tree I did over there, and I got this tree, which is kind of my big tree that I need to do here, Greg. So I've started to get the tree bug where I'm like, oh, I'm going to put a tree in every room. Yeah, so me and decorating are, yeah. You're going to hate me when I go Facebook Live on December 1st and I show my winter wonderland. You could just block me that day. That you don't have to
Lord.
see. So yeah.
Smells like pine in your house, huh?
I get fake trees though. Remember, I guess I could put the air front. Do you want me to do the air freshener that people have done? They stick the air freshener in their tree so it smells like real. But yes, we have got way off topic here. So wrestling fans are like, what the hell are they talking about? Well, there's nobody watching right now, so it's fine. So, all right. Well, we will end the broadcast here on that note, and I will debut my Christmas decorations at a later date. So thanks for watching. Enjoy Survivor Series. Enjoy AEW. Enjoy life, as they say. So thank you for watching, as always.
And happy Thanksgiving. See you next week.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thankful for not being cut off this show yet.